Hey guys, it's Fox. I'm waiting for Jay to get out of work, so I've got a little time right now. And some people have been asking me a few questions about my very first video, which was about my diagnosis and my cancer and all that stuff. Basically, they want to know about when I died, because I've mentioned that I think in a couple of videos that there was a time where I did die. It was a lot. It's a lot to talk about. Basically, what happened was I was going through chemotherapy, and one of my meds had gotten changed, and for whatever the reason, my body did not accept that change. I was switched one of my pain meds to morphine tablets, and what happened was my kidneys ended up shutting down, and for 3 days I was taking my meds just like normal, but because my kidneys weren't really functioning, they weren't letting go of the morphine, so it basically kept stacking in my system for 3 days, and I knew something was wrong. Something didn't feel right at all. It's just hard to talk about. I'm sorry. I remember parts. I don't remember all of it. My mom has filled in some of it because she was there toward the end. She was at the hospital with me. I remember at one point I had fallen down the stairs, and I lived on a second floor. And it was a pretty old house that had deep stairs and staircase. And I'd fallen down all of the stairs, somehow gotten up, went back upstairs, and then I basically went to bed. Like, I didn't call anybody. I didn't do anything. I went to bed, and somehow I woke up. I don't know how I woke up, because I probably shouldn't have. And I called my mom, and I told her that I was hearing voices, because it was just not right. I'm sorry, it wasn't right at all. I was very scared. And she called my nurse. They called 911. The nurse happened to be close by, and she came in, and as soon as she saw me, she was like, "Call the ambulance right now." Because she's not gonna make it if the ambulance doesn't come. They did get me to the ambulance, and I sort of remember them taking me. I'm sorry. I was adamant that I was okay. I wasn't okay. I'm sorry. But yeah, I was fighting that I was okay, and I had to go to the bathroom, and I basically told them, "Hey, I really gotta go to the bathroom," and they wouldn't let me go unless I had a nurse come with me, so she did. Yeah, she came with me, and the next thing I remember, I was being lifted. I could just feel my body being lifted. I couldn't see. I couldn't really hear. I just remember my body being lifted off the ground. I'm sorry. Give me a sec. Yes, I'm drinking, Running on Dunkin'. Just saying. No, they don't sponsor me. I don't know if anybody's ever going to sponsor me, but if they do, that'd be awesome. The story, I wish maybe I was drinking something a little bit different. Oh, man, that was just... I'm sorry. Okay, so... I remember being lifted, and suddenly I was on a table. I could hear people talking, but I couldn't figure out what they were saying. I know my mom was there, And she told me that the doctor said to her, sorry, keep talking, because she needs to hear you talk about her daughters, talk about her coming back and that you need her. Keep talking, or else she'll never come back. That's what she told me that the doctor said. And honestly, if she hadn't kept talking and telling me about my daughters and that they needed me and they needed their mom, I don't know if I would have come back. And that's not an easy thing to say. There's times I wish I didn't come back, because, man, life is hard right now. Like, it's hard. People talk about surviving cancer and like everything's brand new and better. But for some people, it's not. Like, it ruined my life. I'm sorry. I know I'm here for something. I know I am, but things can be very hard. It's very hard to go from working 3 jobs, and being everywhere and just loving life and loving work and just doing everything. I was going to school. I was being a great mom. Everything was awesome. And things are very different now. Things could be a lot worse. I'm getting married. Things are good, and I have no room to complain, and I shouldn't complain. So I'm gonna get off of that. I'm gonna go back to my story. I'm so sorry for that little moment there. Yeah. So she kept talking to me, and in that time, I could feel my body on the table, but I also, at the same time, felt myself like going down an escalator is the best way I can put it. Oh my God, I look a wreck. I'm so sorry. Okay, anyway, so I could feel myself going down like an escalator is exactly what it felt like. It was so easy, so effortless. And when I got to where I was going, it was like, it was weird because there was light, but it was not the light that they tell you about. It's just warm. Like, it's a warm, beautiful, like, sunshine is what it feels like. It's the best way to put it. It's the most wonderful sunshine that you've ever seen in your life. It's magnificent. It's like if you could look at the sun and it not destroy your eyes, that's what this is like. It's just the most beautiful thing. I can't describe it. Once I got through the light, it was like I was on a beach. The beach it's indescribable, honestly. It's almost like the sand is made of the most beautiful white diamonds, but not like clear, still like sand, but just glistening, like stardust. Like diamonds and stardust. Like, I don't know. That's the best way I can describe it. And the water was kind of like this indigo purple color. It was gorgeous. It looked like real water. Had the waves, everything, but its hue was definitely in that purple range. And it's funny because I'd done a painting a long time ago, and it looked very similar to that. And I do see the other side. I don't know if I dreamt it at some point, but that's exactly almost what it looked like. It just had this white, gorgeous sand and just this purpley water. And there was this boat. And it's funny because what I was wearing was not what I was wearing in the hospital or when I died. It was one of my favorite outfits. It was just one of the favorite things that I love to wear. That's what I was wearing when I got there. Just it was this shirt that I love and a pair of jeans. That's what I was wearing on the other side. My hair was down. Sorry, my phone is retarded. My hair was down and my makeup was just done like it usually is. And it was just normal. Like, I didn't look different. I didn't look sick. My hair wasn't short. I looked like me before I got sick. And there was this boat. And I started walking to the boat. And I somehow knew that that boat meant that boat's going to take me to heaven. That's it. If I get in that boat, I'm going. And I could hear my mom. And I knew my girls needed me, but I was sick. And at that point, I mean, I knew disability was never going to take care of me. It doesn't. It definitely doesn't. I knew I couldn't take care of them. I knew everything was going to change. And I knew I'd be fighting for the rest of my life, which I am. I really am. But I started to walk to the boat. I can't tell you why I made the decision. It's a very big draw when you're there. And I started to walk, and I just heard out of the sky just the answer, no. And I can't tell you if it was male, if it was female. It was almost like a unisex voice. Like, it was almost both voices. Like, I can't describe it. It was just, but the answer was no. I couldn't go. And suddenly I was almost like swooped back. And coming back, oh my God, like, it was painful to come back. I almost felt like I was forced to climb this ladder and climb back into my own body. And I guess what that was how I dealt with having the Narcan put into me for the morphine, because I had died. I had gone under, and it was bad. So they basically, gave me the Narcan. I got back in my body. It was awful. I felt like spiders were crawling through my veins. It was the worst experience. And they prepared my mom. They told her that I was going to wake up. I was going to jolt. I was going to take a breath, and then I was going to fall back down, which I did. I remember opening my eyes for a second. I remember seeing her. And then I went back out. They put me into a coma for 2 days, into a medical fuzz, I guess, till I was okay. And it was hard to come back from that. They put me back on my old meds. They put me back on what I had been on previous to the morphine. The morphine tabs were just not, they were not for me. So they put me on what I was on prior to that. But it wiped me out. Like, I couldn't even move to get up and go to the bathroom. Nothing. Man, like, I was in the hospital for a long time. Again, for a long time. And then I got out of the hospital, and the exact same day that I got released, because when they had given me the Narcan, they also gave me fluid. They gave me a lot of fluid because I was also apparently dehydrated. I ended up back in the ER that night with heart failure because they'd given me so much fluid that it pooled around my heart. So I ended up with heart failure and ended up back in the hospital for another 6 days, dealing with that. And then again, I had to walk like with a walker. Like, here I am, 30 years old with a walker. So here I am, 30 years old with a walker. Not okay. I did not want to accept that for anything. Eventually I got out of the hospital, but the whole ordeal was hell. It was absolute hell. I'm getting in shadow now because the sun's moved, and this video is getting a little long, so I think I'm going to just wrap it up now. But if you have questions, I'm sure I left stuff out. It's a very emotional topic for me to talk about, obviously. Please leave your questions down in the comments. If there's anything in the other videos you want to know about, or any suggestions you have of things you want to see, please let me know. Hit the like button if you like it, and please subscribe, and I hope you have a great day, great night, whenever you're watching this. This is a great thing to do. I'm glad I'm doing it, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. Have a good day. Good night, whenever you're watching it. Bye.